Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today I'm celebrating. And I want to ask you the question, what is your legacy? Now, I think for a while I thought of legacy as, you've got real estate, you've got money, you're leaving those things behind to the people that are coming after you, to your children, to family members, that's legacy. But today, my mother would have been 76 years old, and I am her legacy. She died when she was 51. And I'm realizing, although I still am trying to piece together memories of her, that so much of her richness is present in me. Her smile, her love for people, her desire to serve, her love of children, that I am her legacy. And so it got me thinking about us and what legacy are we leaving behind? And the legacy isn't about material things. In fact, it is so not about material things. It's about it's almost like what piece of you are you passing on that will be remembered when it is that you're not there, whether that's when you're not in the room or whether or not it is that you're not around. What's your legacy? And in real terms, none of us really know what our legacy is. I'm not convinced that we could, plan for it and actually say, oh yeah, this is what it's going to be. No, we just need to walk through life with an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of love for people and a love for life. Maya Angelou said that people may not remember what it was that you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And that whole thing, when it is that you show up, what are you bringing to the table? Is there joy? Is there laughter? Is there wisdom? Is there inspiration? What are you bringing to the table? Because when it is that you have left that room, that's what it is that you leave behind. Which then means that when it is that you walk through life, you just need to walk through life as the best version of yourself. Because actually, that's the only thing that we actually have control over. We can't control the weather. We can't control what other people are thinking. We can't control any of those things, but we can control ourselves. So how are you walking through life? When it is that you show up, are people happy that you've shown up? Or are they saying, oh no, it's her or it's him again? That one that's always complaining about something or always moaning about thing, and they're always talking about and they're just droning on and on and on. That's not what it is. That's not the legacy that it is that you want to leave behind. And that we are all distinctly different. And it's about celebrating that difference, because you're not trying to be like anybody else. You are just being the best version of yourself. And in that space and in that journey, there are some people, I'm really sorry to say, that are not going to like you. They're just not. But that's oftentimes less about you and more about them, unless, of course, you've done something that makes you unlikable. But it's that whole thing about don't allow people or situations or circumstances to actually say that this is how it is that you need to be. I mean, obviously there are, kind of conventions and there are structures and things that we need to operate in. Like, for instance, crime is wrong. However much it is you're trying to be yourself, crime, that's wrong. But it's those things, walking the line in relation to those things. But actually, other than that, find the vibrancy of you. If you're an introvert, be the best introvert that you can be. And I don't mean that means that you stay in a corner and you don't talk to anybody, but it's that whole thing. How do you bring your flavour to the mix? kind of interesting. I just thinking about my mum today. One of the things that she said to me, which took me a while to work out, was that if you are going to be a thief, be the queen of thieves. Which seemed like a really strange thing to be telling a child. But what she was meaning was, whatever it is that you choose to do, whether it's kind of at the lofty heights or, you know, it's at the bottom, be the best version of yourself that you can be in that position, that situation. And so this is what I'm saying to you in terms of legacy. Actually, we leave ourselves behind. You know, when you look at your children, if you have them, or people that spend a lot of time with you, you could probably see a little bit of you and your mannerisms and your quirkiness in them. And that's what it is that you are bringing to the situation. And that's what it is that you are leaving behind. And if we just walk through life with a smile on our heart, then actually I think that we make a difference. We have an impact in a positive way, and that's something that will still linger once it is that we are no longer there, whether in that situation or on this planet. Because I think that in this season, where it is that yes, that there's been lots of loss, that if we can think about the memories of that person, of the impact that they had on our lives or on the world or on their situation, we will see that there is such richness that actually is left in their place, as it were. So legacy, oh my gosh, we have control over our legacy, even though we will never know what our legacy is, because actually oftentimes people don't tell us the impact that we've had on them. When it is that we are no longer on this planet, we won't know what it is that people thought of us. But actually, if we walk through life with that whole thing that actually I'm here to be a blessing to somebody, or I'm here to serve, then our legacy is catered for. We don't have to worry about whether or not people are going to like us or any of those things, because actually we've got the right attitude in what it is that we're doing. And also today in 2001, I was baptized. And so kind of a new rebirth, as it were. But I seem to have rebirthed a number of times along that journey. But so there'll probably be lots of pictures and things today, but particularly about my mum. And I think that I was looking through some old photos, and whilst it is that I don't quite have the memories of when it was that those photos were taken and what was going on behind it, it really made me smile, because whilst it is that I'm unable to currently recall things in detail, the stuff that I remember is the love of an amazing woman. She actually was the first empowerment guru ever that I ever encountered, because everything that she ever said to me was always about encouraging me and uplifting me, which is kind of really interesting, because that's part of me that I now share with others. And so my mother's legacy is alive and well in me, but I never knew that. And it's only now that I'm thinking about it and looking at it and thinking, oh my gosh, oh wow. And so in terms of your children, in terms of your friends, in terms of your colleagues, in terms of the people that you hang out with, what are you leaving with them? So when it is, if somebody said, tell me about X, what would they say? Because that's your legacy. What would they say? And if you're thinking now, actually, I'm not really sure that they're saying what I'd like them to say, it's not too late to change it. Because the best is always in front of us. And so there's always an opportunity to sow a seed, to have an impact, to connect in a deeper way. And I think it all starts with learning more about who it is that you are and actually owning that, warts and all. I talk about the good, the bad and the flabby, but that may be just me. But that whole thing about just kind of owning it, warts and all, because all of those components go together to make you you. And whilst you might be thinking, yeah, but now I just want to tell you that you are awesome. You just need to connect with the core of who it is that you are and allow that to shine, and not allow people, situations, or circumstances to determine what that looks like. Because we are powerful beyond our understanding, that there is more to us than that we have currently settled for. I always used to say that there's more to us than we're currently experiencing. And then I heard someone being interviewed and how it was that they changed their life. And the interviewer said, well, what happened? And she said, the moment I realized that there was more to my life than I had currently settled for, I knew I had to change. I knew I needed to do things differently. And that's exactly what I did. And I think that's it. That in terms of our lives, even in the COVID-19 era, even in that time, there is more to our lives than we have currently settled for. And when it is that we rise up, then actually the legacy that we're leaving behind, that rises also. Yeah. Guys, the sun is shining. I'm going to celebrate my mum and the legacy that she has left behind, which is me. From my corner of the world to yours, I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Have a great one.